So this week, we are mostly doing review. So as I just said, there's no MCAS, there's no worksheet. Pretty much just 2 IXLs Tuesday, 2 IXLs Thursday, and then 20 diagnostics on Friday. So what we'll do is I'll just click on each of the 4 IXLs, practice a couple questions, just so you can kind of see what the questions are going to be like that you have to do. All right, so the first one is B2. Okay, it's evaluating expressions. So remember what it means to evaluate. They usually give you a number, and they tell you where they want you to plug that number in. Okay? So it says evaluate the expression y minus 8. Copy that down. Y minus 8. And they tell us that what number do they want us to plug in for y? Oh, that one?
9 or -9.
Yeah, -9. All right, so let's see if we can do it. So it says evaluate y minus 8. Let y equal -9. So all we have to do is take the number they give you and fill it in for y. So -9. I'm going to change y to what they told me. -8 stays the same. And then we just need to figure out what that comes out to. So how about Gigi? What's -9? Take away 8.
-17.
Yeah. You have a negative number and you subtract something from it, it's going to get even more negative. So -17. That's it. All right. So let me go back and see if we can type that in and see if we got it right. All right. So -17. Perfect. All right. Let's try this one. Okay, z minus 9, and they're saying z is 7. So z minus 9. Just put a line here for that one. And let z equal, I think they said z was 7. All right. So let's plug in 7 for z. And Soleil, if I plug in 7 for z, what's 7 take away 9?
-2.
Yeah, -2. That's it. Let's plug that in and see if we get it right. All right. Let me do a couple and just see if they get a little bit harder. Okay, that one's a little different. It's not addition or subtraction. It says evaluate the expression -3c. So what? Sorry about that. What am I doing on that one? I'm not adding or subtracting. What are you doing when you have a number right next to a letter? Yeah.
Multiplying.
Yeah, we're multiplying. So it's -3c. Okay. So let's just put that here. All right. So -3c. And let c equal, what did they say? C is 3. Okay. So for this one, we're going to plug in 3 for c. Okay. When you plug it in, make sure you always put parentheses. That way it looks like multiplication. And when we do a negative times a positive, what's a negative times a positive going to give me? What kind of number? Yeah. Yep, it's going to give me a negative. And -3 times 3 will give me -9. Okay, so let's type that in and see what happens. Looks good. Let's see, that's just another one similar to what we've done. Okay, so this one's a little different. This time, they're giving you 2 letters. Okay, so if they give you 2 letters, then you have to plug in 2 things. So it says f plus g, f times g plus g. So f times g plus g. Okay, if they give you two letters, they'll give you two numbers. So f is 8, g is negative 11. Okay, so let's go back here. F is 8, g is negative 11. So take each one of those numbers and fill them in. So f is going to turn into 8, g is going to turn into negative 11. All right, and now we have to simplify. Okay, make sure when you simplify, you follow PEMDAS. Do your multiplication first. What's 8 times negative 11? Right?
Negative 88.
Yep, negative 88 plus negative 11. Okay. If it confuses you because it's plus a negative number, that's the same thing as subtracting. What's negative 88? Take away 11. Derek, what's that going to give? Negative 88 minus 11.
77.
So remember, you are subtracting, so you're going to get even more. Like if you think of it on a number line, you're going to go to the
99.
left. Yeah, negative 99. Good job. Okay, I'm not going to take that one in, but that is correct. All right. All right, so that's the first IXL. Okay, plugging in a number and evaluating. All right, let's look at the second one. All right, so the second one has to do with solving equations, okay? So what they're basically doing is they're walking you through step by step, at least in the first one, how to solve it. So 8t plus 3 equals 19. Okay, so let's put that. Okay, so 8t plus 3 equals, what was it? Oops. I don't want that. 19. All right, so they tell you the very first step. Subtract 3 from both sides. My guess is as the problems get a little harder, they might not give you the first step anymore. Okay, so let's do that. Okay, if I subtract 3 from what's on the left, Ayla, what's going to happen to the 3 that's on the left?
It's going to go away.
Yeah, that's just going to cancel out. So all we have now is 8t, and 19 minus 3 gives me 16. Okay, so in that first box, they want us to type in a 16. Okay, so when I go back to the computer, I'll type that in. I should get a keyboard over here. All right, so I got that. And now, let's go back to here. The last step they say is to divide both sides by 8. Okay. When you do 8 divided by 8, that cancels out. You get just 1. Okay. And Isaac, what's 16 divided by 8? Or think about 8 times what would give you 16? Well, let's start with 8 times 1. What's 8 times 1 give us? 8, right? Let's try 8 times 2. What's that give us? Think of 8 plus 8. How much is that? That'd be 7 times 2. So 8 times 2, a little bit more. 16. 8 times 2 is 16. Okay. So what's 16 divided by 8 going to give me? based on that. So we know 8 times 2 is 16, right? So if we take 16 and divide it by 8, that's going to give us something else that's in this equation right here. What would 16 divided by 8 give us? Think about if you had $16, right? And you have to divide it out to 8 people. I want to know how much each person is going to get. Not sure? Okay, can someone help him out? What's 16 divided by 8 going to give us? Yeah? 2. If 8 times 2 is 16, then when you divide 16 by 8, that would give you 2. Okay. So now that's what they want us to type in on the last line. So we know t is 2, so we're going to put 2 there. And then the line above it, I have to go back and see what we had, 16. So we're going to put in a 16 and a 2. All right. Let's see what we got. Let's try this one. It says 2 times q plus 5 equals 14. All right. And again, they tell us the first step. Divide both sides by 2. All right. So you're going to divide both sides by 2. What happens on the left when we divide by 2? What does it... Emily, what does that cancel out?
2.
Yeah, it's going to cancel out this 2 right there. So now we have q plus 5 equals, and Brady, what's 14 divided by 2? 7. Okay, so if I go back and look at the question, the answer they want in the top box is a 7. So let's put a box around that so I remember to type that in. Okay. Last step, subtract 5 from both sides. Okay. If you have a plus 5 and a minus 5, that's going to cancel out. And Eli, what does that leave me with on the left side?
The Q5.
Just the q? No, the 5's gone.
Okay, yeah, just a Q.
Just the q because we subtracted the 5. And what about on the right side?
7 and a negative 5.
Mm-hmm. So we got to take that one more step.
Oh, it's 2.
Yeah. Okay. So the 2 answers they want on that page are a 7 and a 2. All right. Let's try it. Let's see if that works. All right. All right. So that's the idea for that one. You pretty much type in what they ask you to do for a step right in the box. All right. So that's the second IXL. Let's look at the third one. Okay, so it says comparing linear functions. All right. So for this one, what they're doing is they're having you compare 2 different functions, but they're probably going to represent them different ways. One of them they might represent as a picture. One of them they might represent as an equation. Okay. So look at the 2 choices they're giving us. What are they focusing on in each choice? About something about the line. What is it that they're focusing on? The slope. So that means we really need to figure out the slope of each one of these. Okay. Let's start with function a. Does anybody remember what number there is the slope? Is it the 2 or the negative 1?
2.
It's the 2. The slope is always the number that's next to x. Okay. So I'm just going to write that down. So for A, the slope is 2. Now for B, they didn't give us an equation. They gave us a picture. So does anybody remember the 2 words that you use to describe slope? Begins with an R, something over something.
Rise over.
Yeah, rise over run. So to find the slope for B, what you want to do is pick 2 points. Try to find points that are where the line crosses at a nice spot on the grid. And then count how many up and how many over. Okay, so looking at this one, looks like if I pick the point 1, 2, right there, and then I pick the point 2, 6, I can count my slope. So it looks like I go up 1, 2, 3, 4, and I go over 1. So my rise is 4, and my run is 1. When I reduce that, what's my slope? 4 over 1 reduces to? Yep, perfect. Okay. So we know the slope of A is 2, and the slope of B is 4. Okay. So which choice is correct there? The slope of A is greater than B, or the slope of A is less than B? Which choice is correct? How about Ellie? Which choice would be correct there? Those are our slopes again. Oh, you can't see it? See anything over here? Is the slope of A greater than B, or is the slope of A less than B? Yeah, it's less. So we'll click on that. And there we go. All right. And that one looks pretty similar. Again, they're just asking a question about slope, so let's try it. So the slope of A, if I go up 1, 2, 3, and I go right 1, the slope of A is 3. Who can tell me the slope of B? Yeah. 4. So the slope of A is less than the slope of B. The slope of A is less than B. All right, looks like, let's try one more, see if they just keep asking about slope. In this case, the slope of A, if you go up 1, 2, 3, 4, and right 1, the slope of A is 4. The slope of B, this time there's no number in front of x. So what's the slope if there's no number in front of x? It's always understood to be what number? 1, yeah. So the slope of B is 1. So A has a bigger slope than B this time. Okay, this one's a little different. They're asking about the y-intercept. The y-intercept is where it crosses the y-axis. Okay. Looking at function A, can somebody tell me what the y-intercept is for function A? Yeah, 2. The y-intercept is always the number at the end when you see it as an equation. So A has a y-intercept of 2. Now, looking at the picture, what's the y-intercept of B? Yeah, -4. It's where it crosses the y-axis. So A is positive 2, B is -4. So the y-intercept of A is greater than B. Yep. That's pretty much what you're doing for the third one. Okay? So you're comparing 2 functions. One of them looks like it's always going to be a picture. The other one will be an equation. All right, so last IXL. It says the graph shows how the amount of jelly Lindsay has left is related to the number of sandwiches she makes. So if she doesn't make any sandwiches, she has 90 ounces of jelly left. And then as she continues to make more sandwiches, the amount of ounces of jelly she has goes down. Okay. Up to how many sandwiches can Lindsay make and still have 70 ounces of jelly left? Okay. So what I would do is, they're asking you for 70 ounces of jelly. So look on the y-axis, because that's where they describe the amount of jelly. Go to 70, and then go to the right and see where it hits the line, and then go straight down. So what does it look like? How many sandwiches can she make, and she'll still have at least 70 ounces of jelly left? I don't think they see that one. Down, do you see it?
10.
Yeah, she can make 10 sandwiches, and if she makes that many, she'll still have 70 ounces of jelly left. Okay. So let's put in 10. See if that's right. All right, let's look at this one. It says the graph shows how the number of crates of screws that a construction company has left is related to the number of houses they built. So as they build more and more houses, the number of screws they have left goes down. It says at most, how many houses can Olson's Construction build and still have 300 crates of screws left? Okay, so the same thing as the jelly. I would go to 300, see where that hits the line, and then drop down. So Soleil, how many crates of screws would they have left? Or, I'm sorry, yeah, how many houses can they build if they have 300 crates of screws left?
Or 300?
So we want to go to 300 and then go over to the line and then see how many houses they would have had to build to only have 300 crates of screws left.
Can you go down to like the 200 houses?
Yeah, because if they have 300 crates of screws left, it means they're right there on the line. So go down and see how many houses they would have built. 200. Yep. That's it. Okay, let's try one more. So the graph below shows the number of glasses that Richard has left related to the number of tables that he's set. Okay. How many tables does Richard need to set in order to just have 10 glasses left to distribute? Okay, so 10 glasses. Ben, which axis is glasses on, the X or the Y?
The Y.
Yeah, it's on the Y. So go to 10 on the Y-axis, go over to your line, and then go down. So if we go to 10, go to my line, and go down, that means he would have 5 tables left. Okay, if that's all the glasses he has, he would have set 5. He would have 5 tables left. That's pretty much it. And hopefully they're going to make each problem so that when you go over to it, it lands at a nice spot on the grid and you can go straight down. So if they asked you a question about 20, like 20 kilometers in this problem, that one would be tough because when you go over to 20, you land in the middle. Okay, so you'd have to kind of estimate, and hopefully they would give you multiple choice answers to help you do that. Okay. Okay, is there any question on that? Okay, so that's a sample of the 4 different types of problems you'll see in the IXLs.